Hello everybody, today we are going to do our FCE class, alright, so it should be this book, alright, so enough of the workbook, we finished that, so now we're going to use our student book, alright, and for today we have only around 3 pages to do, alright, most of them are just revising or reading, and then the very last part is reading and writing, okay, so it's page 144, 145 and then 146. All right, so let's please turn our page to 144 again. All right, 144, look at the title. The title says nouns or articles or nouns. Okay, sometimes these two are synonymous, okay, but other times they're not. All right, so let's try to look at the table. All right, so on page 144 we have 2 tables, right, actually 3 if you count that as a third one. Alright, so the 2 tables, they have each subheadings, okay? We'll go through them very briefly, and then we'll go through them again with an in-depth analysis, alright? And then we'll do the first part together. So the table on your book is the same over here on the whiteboard. I just compressed them, condensed them into the important key points, alright? So article or noun, okay? Article or noun. So do you know what articles are? Articles. Right, very simple. We have right? Or a is an article. The or the is also an article, okay? Nouns, what are nouns, okay? So when we were studying in primary school, right, we know nouns are 4 things, right? Very simple generic rule, right? Nouns in primary school, only 4 things. People, places, animals, and things, just 4 things. But in reality, nouns can be more than just these 4 things, all right? So if you look at the first table on your book, you can see the first table talks about nouns very briefly, all right? And nouns are abstract. Okay, what does abstract mean? Abstract. Right, nouns can be very complicated. Abstract means out of the picture, okay? So the kind of example they gave you was the word invasion, visit, right, etc. Now think of the word invasion, okay? Invasion means to go into somewhere maybe you don't belong into, right? Or you're not allowed to go into. Now, is that a thing? No, right? What about the visit, okay? Like you go on a visit. Do you go in a thing? Is a visit a thing? No, right? So what this means is nouns can be happenings, okay? Happenings, like a birthday party, okay? That is a happening. Or Christmas, right? That's also a happening, all right? So things that have happened, will happen, or commonly happens. Those are nouns as well. What about concrete? Okay, concrete. What does that mean? Alright, think of concrete as like cement, okay? And cement is a physical thing that we use to build buildings, okay? So we can look at this as meaning physical, okay? Tangible things, alright? So, for example, our people, okay? So people that take action. They gave us an example as invader and visitor to kind of tie back to the abstract of invasion and visit, okay? So, invasion is caused by an invader, and a visit is a visit is made by a visitor. All right, and then we have proper nouns. We all know proper nouns, right? Names. So we have David, right, or name of a country, Japan, or a city, Madrid, okay, or like Hong Kong, right? Those are proper nouns. Any names. All right, and then collective. Think of the word collect. Okay, what does it mean when you collect something? Right, you put them into one big thing, right? A big pile of something. So collective means like audience, okay? They gave you an example. Audience, family, pupils with the letter S, right? Or government is also a collective noun, all right? So where there are big groups of something, even small groups actually, like a book club, okay? And then common nouns, right? The word is very self-explanatory. Common means everything that we can see usually, okay? Typical stuff, like they gave you an example, book, sofa, or pen, or trays, or pencils, okay? So these are the nouns that we're going to talk about today. So very far from the 4 nouns we've learned in primary school, right? There are more now. All right, and then we have, of course, when there are nouns, we have plural nouns, right? Plural, right, means more than one. Plurality, okay? There should be more than one thing. Alright, so I'll be talking about this in depth later, but let's go through it very quickly, okay? So when we write plural nouns, right, very easy, we can just write S, okay, at the end of the word. For example, boys, okay? Or, what else? Dolls, okay? Or bears, or cats, okay? And then we have ES, okay? We have to add ES for certain words, such as the fricatives. We call all of these words or sounds fricatives, okay? So fricatives means the vibration in your mouth, okay? So s, okay, there's a kind of like a snake sound, okay, or a sort of a vibration. So s, sh, x, sh, and s, okay? So all of these fricatives will end in ES in the plural form, okay? And then of course we have the Y situation. We have two kinds of Y situation, okay? The first situation is the one ending with a consonant and Y. So consonant, right? You should know by now what consonant means. Consonant means letters that are not vowels. Okay, so A is a vowel, so it's not a consonant, right? But some people can argue if the letter A can be a consonant. For example, in the word apple, okay, if you're doing it linguistically, then yes, it is a consonant. But when we're spelling, it is not a consonant, okay? So everything that are not vowels, so B, C, D, okay, F, G, H, J, K, L, M, N, okay, P, you skip the vowels. And then plus Y, ending in consonant and Y, we have to change it to IES, okay? So what that means is like the word baby, okay, baby, okay? B-A-B-Y, right? Baby. A baby, right? You should know this already. And then we will change it to B's, right? Here we have a consonant, not a vowel, and then the letter Y, okay? We change it to IES, alright? So we keep the B, we keep the consonant, we just change the Y to a letter I, and then we add the ES, okay? Easy, right? Alright, next one. Okay, the second Y situation is the one with a vowel, okay? So vowels, simple, right? A, E, I, O, U. If you're writing in different kind of languages, there should be accents on those A, E, I, O, U's. Alright, and so it's just you add S at the end, like what I said before, boys, right? So B-O-Y-S. We have a vowel here, we have a Y. You just have to add the S. Boys. Now here comes the what I like to call the linguistic borrowings into English plural nouns, okay? Because there are lots of words in English that are borrowed from different languages, okay? I'll give you an example. So the general rule for English is when the word ends in O, we have to add ES, right? So, very easy. We have the word tomato, right? Tomato. Alright, the word tomato ends in the letter O. So simply just add ES for more than one, right? I have 2 tomatoes, right? This is correct. This is true. Now consider the word piano, okay? P-I-A-N-O, the word piano. Alright, I have a big piano at home, but my school is better. My school has 3 grand pianos. Alright, you don't add ES, right? You only add S. Now why is that? Why is that? Can someone give an idea? Why do we add S for piano and ES for tomatoes? Also the word radio, right? Radios or zoos, right? We don't add ES. Why is that? Okay. Alright, so simply because these words are borrowed from somewhere, okay? The word tomato has existed in the English language, so it's a natural or a native word, okay? The word piano comes from a different language like Latin or Italian. So, for them, they don't need to add ES. So how do we remember that? There is no way to have a rule, okay? So the rule is, just try to remember how you spell the words, okay? Because some words in English, that is how they spell them. Okay, so let's try to look at the plural noun box on the second table. You can see for the words ending in O, right? Video, we have to add ES. And then move on downwards, okay? You can see that some nouns ending in O can take either ES or S. So either means both, okay? So which ones can take both, alright? So we have buffaloes. Okay, buffaloes are big animals. They kind of look like cows. Okay, buffaloes can have es or just s. Mosquitoes have es or just s. Okay, volcanoes, zeros, and tornadoes. Now, okay, so if you want to know which countries use just s and which countries just use es, very simple, right? British English have es and American English have just s. Okay. Alright, so just try to remember how to spell the words ending in O, okay? Because there's no general rule. Alright, so now that we know the rules, okay? The generic rules for writing plural, okay? Let's try to move downwards, alright? How do we answer the words in the prompts below, alright? How do we do that? Alright, very good. One is potato, so obviously potatoes, es, right? Same as the word tomato, okay? So how do we know that? Because we know how to spell it, right? We've recognized the word. What about house, ending in E, house? Right, houses, alright? So just letter S, houses, okay? Houses. So I'll be doing until number 16 together with you. The rest you can do by yourself, alright? Number 3, photo. Alright, now the word photo comes from Greek. Remember, when you have an English word borrowed from another language, okay? Photo. Right, just S, no need to put ES. Also, the word photo comes from the word photography, okay? That's another point too. If the word is shortened, we call that clipping, okay? We only have to add S. Alright, next one. Dessert spoon, alright? Dessert spoon. So this is what we call a compound noun, okay? Compound means to put together. Dessert, spoon. S, right? Dessert spoons. Alright, so now that we've come across a compound noun, let me just talk to you about it a little bit, alright? So compound, right? We have compound nouns. Compound means to put two things together. Now we can make a lot of compounds with nouns and verbs, right? Nouns and verbs, maybe like let me think. A cry baby, right? A cry baby, right? So a verb and a noun, right? A cry baby. But when we talk about compound nouns, both of them should be nouns, okay? So the example here is dessert spoon. Dessert is a kind of food, right? We eat at the end of the meal, and a spoon is what we use, okay? So that's a compound noun, all right? And then we only have to add S for this one. But notice how I connected all of them to the compound noun. Alright, because the compound nouns depend, okay, the endings depend on the latter part of the word. For example, hillbillies, okay? Maybe I write it down here, okay? Hillbilly. Hillbilly, okay? Hillbillies are people that live in the countryside of America, okay? Or in the UK. And they are stereotyped to be quite uneducated people, okay? So how would we change this into a plural, okay? So we have hill, like a mountain, and billy, right? That's a proper noun. So hillbilly will change Y into IES, right? We change the Y into IES. Hillbillies, alright? But as for dessert spoon, we put S. So it depends on the latter part of the word, okay? Alright, fish. What is the plural form of fish? Right, it's just fish, okay? Fish stays the same. Alright? So if you want to say a plural form of fish, we say a school of fish, right? A bag of fish. Alright? Same as fruit, right? Nowadays people say fruits, but usually that is a mistake, a common mistake people use, right? It should be a bag of fruit, a basket of fruit. Okay, next one, video. Right, this one has ES, right? Videos. Right, I'll go back to writing just the endings. Alright, videos. What about lorry? L-O-R-R-Y. Lorry. Lorry. That should be easy, right? We learned that in primary school. Lorries. Okay? Again, I-E-S because we have a consonant and a Y. Alright? Next one, we have toy, right? Similar as boys, we just add S. Easy. Toys, boys, okay? Next one is calf, okay? So the word C-A-L-F, calf, okay? The L is silent. Calf. So when we have words ending in LF, okay? It will become LVES, okay? So LF, for example, half of a mountain, okay? So when you cut a mountain in half, you have two halves. You have two halves, okay? You cut a mountain in half, or you cut a pizza in half, okay? Maybe just think of a pizza, it's easier for you, right? You cut a pizza in half, okay? When you cut a pizza in half, you have two halves. Two halves, right? The semicircles. Alright, next one. Wolf. Again, ending in LF, right? Wolf. I can hear a wolf howling, and now there are lots of wolves howling, okay? LVES. Alright? Next one, the word zoo. Zoo, okay? I gave you an example already here, right? Zoo is ending just in S, okay? Zoos. Zoos. Alright, next one. Again, a compound noun. Fishing rod. Fishing rod. So a fishing rod is what you use to go fishing, right? So look at the second word, rod. Letter D, right? It should be just S. Fishing rods. Alright, the next one, fox. Fox. Again, those are the fricative, right? The affricative, the x sound. Right, it should be ES because we have the letter X, right? X sound. Foxes. Alright, next one. Child. Child. Right, child is one, right? Child is one. Right, it's children, okay? So R-E-N. Now these are what we call irregular nouns, okay? Irregular nouns, where we have to kind of change the word a little bit. All right, we changed the word. All right, what about the word trout? Okay, T-R-O-U-T. You might not know what a trout is. A trout is a kind of fish, okay? They are usually flat, all right? They're a kind of flat fish, all right? Not no dimension, but they're super flat. Right, same thing, right? Trout. So you see the common theme here with the fish, right? Fish in the umbrella term is also singular, right? And then trout is also singular. Okay, last one together. Louse, okay? Now, you might not know what louse is, but you know the plural form, right? Louse. L-O-U-S-E. I'll give you a hint. They're very itchy and very small. Sometimes they live in different parts of our body where there is hair. Louse. Right, lice, right? Lice. A louse and some lice, right? Head lice, right? You usually have more than one, right? If you have one, then you can assume that you have more than one. That's why we never use the word louse, okay? Because it's usually what we have is more than one, so lice. Alright, so these are the words that we're going to do together, right? Or we did together. The rest, okay, I'll give you around, say, how many do we have left? Not a lot, okay? I'll give you around 2 minutes. Just write down the endings, like for this one, okay? If you can write down the endings, if they are regular, okay, S, E-S, I-E-S, S, or O, or E-S again, just write down the endings. If they're irregular, then write down the whole word, okay? You have 2 minutes to do them, okay, until number 30, alright? It's very simple. We'll check the answers together. I'll read it out loud, and then you just correct yourself as we go. Alright, while you are doing that, just mind the compound. Remember, the compound, we have to look at the latter part. Latter means the ending, right? The ending. If you get confused, you can move up to the table, the very last part of the table, where we have irregular plurals, and then work from there, okay? maybe you have a minute, right? Right, 30 seconds left. Alright, if you get confused, you can use the tables to help you. The answers should all be there. Okay, alright, so let's check the answers. I'll read them out loud and tell you the ending, okay? So number 7, teacher is teachers, okay? Teachers, letter S, just put S. Baby, very simple, right? I-E-S, babies. Workman, workman, M-A-N. We know M-A-N is singular, the plural should be workmen, workmen, M-E-N, okay? M-E-N. Ship, ships, just add S. Boyfriend, boyfriends, okay? Now what about this one? Mother-in-law, mother-in-law. Right, which is the subject here, right? It's the mother, so we can't say mother-in-laws. Okay, we can't say mother-in-laws. So the latter rule doesn't work here. It should be mothers-in-law, okay? Mothers-in-law, okay? Not mother-in-laws, okay? Common mistake people use, alright? Next one, stepmother, stepmother. Right, now this is the part where do we say stepmother or stepmothers? Okay, which one is the most important part here, the important subject? Mothers, right? So stepmothers. Next one, type. Types, okay? Stereo. Stereos. Just S, okay? No need to put ES, okay? Mosquito. Mosquito. The kind of small insect that bites you, right? Right, mosquitoes can be S or ES. Again, depending on which country you are studying English or writing English, right? Next one, superstar. Superstar, a compound noun. Super and star. Compound verb, okay? Superstar. Right, it's letter S, just superstars. Story, consonant and Y. Stories, I-E-S, remove the Y. Flyover, flyover. Verb and noun compound, right? It should be flyovers. Flyovers mean different stations, okay? When you use the airplane to travel. For example, if I want to go to New York City, I have to stop over maybe in the UK or in Amsterdam first from Hong Kong. Hong Kong, UK, and then US, right? Next one, bunch becomes bunches, okay? Bunches, B-U-N-C-H-E-S, okay? Because of the CH sound. Alright, easy, right? Alright, so now we go to uncountable and countable. Now we have singular and plural, right? It's important to separate the idea. A lot of people try to put together countable means plural or uncountable means singular. No, okay, they mean different things. But in some cases, a lot of plural nouns are countable. In some or most cases, a lot of singular, right, are uncountable, right? So let's think of water. We can't say 3 waters, right? We can't say 3 waters because plural is only for countable, right? And can we say a glass of water, 2 glasses of water, right? The water stays singular, right? But that's not always the case, and I will show you some examples later towards the end of this page, all right? Alright, so now let's focus on countable and uncountable. So as I said, right, most countable nouns are plural, and most uncountable are singular. And they also come with singular verbs used, okay? So verbs, actions, right? Usually with singular verbs. So for example, that they gave you is, where's this example? Let me see. Okay, was, right? Was, is, or a or an, okay? So singular, always singular. And then if you want to have questions, you can say some. Can I have some? Is there any? Okay? How much is this? So much we use for money, right? Can I say I have 10 monies? No, right? If you want to make it a plural, you use the currency. Currency means the type of money in different countries. So in Hong Kong, we have Hong Kong dollars. So we say $10, right? Not 10 monies, right? Okay, so which parts are uncountable nouns? All right, so let's move down into the second box. Okay, second box. What are uncountable nouns? All right, so we have mass. Okay, M-A-S-S. Mass means there is matter, right? There is some kind of weight to it. Mass. So beer, blood, bread, butter, air, oxygen, corn, flour, etc. So mass is usually the thing that has matter, right? So if you study science now, you would know what this means, mass, okay? And then subject of study, right? Subject of study, the second part. So subject of study means exactly what it means, right? English, okay? We can't say I study different types of Englishes, right? I study different types of Englishes, like English literature, English reading and writing, okay? So that is wrong, okay? History, literature, maths. Okay, so why is maths with S, okay? Right? This is an uncountable noun, okay? Uncountable noun, but there's a letter S, right? The long form of maths is mathematics, okay? Physics as well, right? There's an S. Accountancy, chemistry, economics, okay? So, like I said before, uncountable, right, usually has singular forms, but not all of them, alright? Next one. Languages, we talked about them already. Games, okay, so baseball, football, okay, etc. Diseases, okay, flu, pneumonia, cold and flu. We don't say colds and flu, right? We don't say I have 2 chicken pox, right? 2 chicken poxes, right? It's just I have chicken pox, alright? Alright, natural phenomena, so things that happen in nature, okay? So, for example, you can say tsunami, alright? So there were 2 tsunamis, okay, that's quite wrong. You have to say there are 2 surges of tsunami, surges, okay? Darkness, fog, gravity, hail, snow, sunlight, or shade. You don't say 2 snows, right? You say 2 snowflakes, okay? So we have to change the noun in some way. Alright, and some other nouns. So these are also the abstract noun we talked about before, right? Accommodation, advice, anger, applause, assistance, behavior, business, chaos, etc. Okay? And then we talked about collective nouns in the first part. So baggage, right? Baggage means your bag, right? Baggage means a big amount of bag. Okay? So when you go to the airplane, right? You have to, after arriving to the destination, you have to go to baggage claim. Baggage does not mean only one, right? It means a lot of. Crockery, cutlery, right? Furniture, jewelry, luggage, machinery, money, right? That's why we have how much money, because it's uncountable. Alright, and then let's move on to the next one, okay? We can make many uncountable into countable, right? So how do we make that, okay? Consider the sentence, a glass of water, right? A glass. We have and water, right? Remember when I told you you can't use any of these, right? You can't say a water, 2 waters, right? Except here we have a unit, okay? We have a unit here, a glass of something, okay? So this is a container, right? Where we put water. So usually when we want to make uncountables into plurals, we will use a kind of unit. We can say it's a container, right? Or, let's say fruit, right? Fruit. Again, we have a basket of fruit, right? We can't say 2 fruits, 3 fruits. Or you can talk about type. Type, right? Type means the general characteristic, okay? So, I have 2 types of fruit, right? One is an apple, a kind of apple, and one is a type of grape, okay? So the different characteristics, okay? So again, different units, okay? Different units. Basket, right? A glass of, or the types, okay? Alright, so we can have some more here, right? We can have some more. We can look at a piece of paper, right? We can't say 2 papers, please. Can I have 2 papers? Can I have 2 pieces of paper? What else? Let's move on from the glass. We've done that already. packet, right? A packet of tea, okay? So when we're talking about tea that is dry, right? We can say a packet of tea, a tea bag of tea, or a bag of tea, right? But we have to say a glass of tea, or a cup of tea, right? We can say 2 teas, please. What else? Okay, so these are quite simple, right? Flash of lightning. Okay, when you look in the sky when it's raining, you can see a flash of lightning. You can't say, I saw a lightning, I saw a flash. Alright, simple, easy, right? And then of course we have plural nouns, okay? So when we have plural nouns, right? Plural nouns usually talk about groups, okay? Groups. For example, staff. Right, you see here, the plural doesn't have a letter S, okay? Staff, okay? So staff is a worker, okay? For example, I am a staff here at Learning Grace, right? Staff, S-T-A-F-F. Singular, right? One person, Mr. Joe's a staff here. But you can also use it as a plural form, right? All the teachers are staff of this center, right? They are the staff of this center. So they, we have the plural form, okay? So group nouns, let's go through them very quickly, right? We have different group nouns over here. Okay, a committee, right? An army of soldier, right? 2 armies of soldier, right? An audience, right? 3 classes of kids or students. A company of dancers. Council, right? Crew, crowd, headquarters, family, okay? 2 families, right? But some of them, okay, be mindful, they don't have letter S or the plural endings, alright? Okay, so if you follow that rule, okay, you might be confused again, okay? So we have different meanings in singular form, right? And in plural form. So glass, okay? Glass on its own means just a glass, okay? A container to put liquid to drink from. And then we have glasses, okay? Like glasses that you wear on your face. Now in some countries, right, in different English-speaking countries, they would put the word eye, okay? Because glasses can also mean different types of glasses that we use to drink. So in America, right, in the US, they put eyeglasses to be very specific, alright? And then look at the second, let's go to the third prompt, okay? The second one is quite weird, okay? No one really says hairs anymore, okay? So the first one, right? Scale. A scale of 1 to 10. Rate how much you like my lessons, right? A scale. Figure out the scale. And then we have scales. Scales. Now scales can mean different scaling system, okay? Scale of 1 to 10 and then maybe 20 to 30, right? Different scales. But scales here, usually when we say scales, we think of the type of skin of animals, right? So fish have scales, snakes have scales, some alligators on their belly, they have scales too. Alright, so that's the kind of creepy geometric shape on their skin, right? Alright, next one. Paper, right? We talk about paper versus the word papers, okay? So a piece of paper, simple, right? 2 pieces of paper. But when someone tells you, I will be needing your papers to check whether or not you are eligible. Papers. I think there should be a letter S, right? Papers. Papers mean your bona fides. B-O. Another word for you, your bona fide. Okay? So this means the thing that you need to present, okay? Your legal documents, like your identification, your birth certificate, your school records, right? Your curriculum vitae, your CV, right? Many different bona fide, okay? Alright, so that's simple, right? Alright, so now let's go on to page 146, where we do the writing exercises now, okay? 146, we have 3 parts, 2, 3, and 4. I suggest that you don't rush into it, okay? Because you have to analyze the text, okay? Remember when we talk about context, the relationship between words in a sentence, that gives cohesion and coherence, right? So let's try to do a 1 together, okay? You have 20 here, I'll go through 10 each, okay? 10 each in each part, and then you can do the rest at home. So you have some practice, alright? Alright, now let's go to number 1, okay? Part 2, number 1, underline the correct verb. I will write it down instead. Mathematics is or are my favorite subject. Mathematics. I know it's simple, right? This part is simple. But please underline the word mathematics, okay? Underline the word. Alright, and then you put a, for example, if you underline, this is mathematics, right? You underline mathematics. You put a line on top. Please write down. Tell me if it's countable or uncountable. If you get confused, go back to page 145 and look at the prompt. Is mathematics countable or uncountable? Right, there is an S. So is it countable or uncountable? Right, it is uncountable. Is it plural or singular? Right, it's a singular subject, right? Mathematics, it's one subject, right? Okay, so should it be is or are? It should be is, right? Mathematics is my favorite subject. Alright, remember what I told you before. It can look like a plural, or it can be a real plural, but it can also stay as an uncountable, right? What about would? Would. Come or comes from? Paper. You can think of paper. If you don't want wood, you can change wood to paper. Paper, come or comes from trees. Comes, right? Simple grammatical rule or grammar rule, right? When the noun is in singular, the verb takes up a, right, comes, right, with an S. Okay, what about the next one? The news. The news was or were, okay? So where would in number 2 has no S, right? Singular. But here, the news. The news. There's an S there. Was, okay? Okay, so now let me explain to you why news is a singular. Why? Can you count news? 2 news, 3 news, 4 news. You can't count news, right? Okay, so information, right? We can't count them. So we have to use singular verbs, okay? So remember on page 145, singular verbs to follow. So the past tense of is was, okay? Your furniture is or are so tasteful. Oh, sorry, number 4, her advice was or were. What do you think? There should be a pattern here. Right, was, right? Her advice was. Again, advice, pieces of advice, right? A piece of advice. Okay, her advice. Your furniture is or are so tasteful. What do you think? Your furniture is so tasteful. Your furniture are so tasteful. Right, furniture. That's a collective, right? So is collective. Furniture means all of the furniture you have at home. You cannot say 1 furniture, 2 furnitures, 3 furnitures. Okay, next one. Tennis. Tennis. What do we talk about games? Are they countable or uncountable? Right, it's uncountable, right? So tennis is a game played by 2 or 4 people. Butter, contain or contains. Again, the word butter. Is there an S there? No, right? So it should be contains. Contains. The verb will take up the S. Now again, mind you, this is singular, right? Not plural. Okay, next one. The scissor cut or cuts really well. The scissors, sorry. Scissors cut or cuts. Scissors. Right, because we have scissors, right? The S is there. It's a plural, the scissors. Right, your hair is so shiny, your hair are so shiny. Again, the word hair, right? What do you think? The word hair. Hair is a collective, right? You have a lot of strands of hair. So hair is actually a collective noun, right? So hair is so shiny, right? You can't say your hairs are so shiny. All right, next one. Japanese is or Japanese are difficult to learn. What do we talk about? Languages, all right? Page 145 if you get confused. Languages. Right, languages are uncountable, right? So what should we use? Is, right? Japanese is a hard language to learn. Okay, what about, okay, let me just go through them and see if you need any help with these ones. Alright, so these ones are quite okay, maybe except for number 20, okay? Number 20, because we have a singular and plural form. Scales, okay? Your scales is or are not very accurate. So scales here doesn't mean the scales, the skin of the fish. Scales, your scales are not very accurate. or the 1 to 10 rating system, your scale. Right, it could be the rating systems, right, or the information scale. So this should be R, okay? Regardless of what it means, what the word means, scale, right? We have the word scales with the S, right? So it has to take up a plural, R, okay? All right, so 11 to 19, you should do it by yourself at home, all right? So you have some practice to do. I don't want you to forget all about this, especially if it's important for your writing, all right? So all of this is homework, all right? 11 to 19. Now let's move on to part 3, all right? So write the correct forms in those in the brackets, okay, or parentheses, okay? So very easy. So this one we'll do all together, 1 to 20, quickly, all right? We have some time, so please look at the words in brackets, right? Number 1 is B. So hard work, be the key to success. So we have to change be to the correct form. So hard work is or are. Again, hard work can mean the collective, right? Right? The action of doing a lot of hard work. Okay? So that could be the collective noun, okay? So hard work. Right? From the word be. Alright, what about next one? 20 years be a long time to spend in prison for theft. So someone stole something, right? So 20 years be a long time to stay in prison for theft. Theft. What do you think? 20 years are? 20 years is? Okay, years is, right? We're talking about duration, okay? So mind you, when we talk about duration, right, from one point in time to another, we will use is, okay? Is. Alright, what about for question number 3? Question number 3. The staircase be too steep for my grandmother to climb. Is again, right? The staircase is. Staircases are, right? So this one is pretty simple. Cathay Pacific be an Asian airline. Cathay Pacific, that's the airline, right? So what is it? Is an Asian airline, are an Asian airline. Again, this is a company, right? So is. This is also a collective or a group, okay? Collective or group, company name. Right. The people in Africa believe in various religions, sorry. The people of Africa believe in various religions. Believes or believe? The people in Africa. They, right? So they believe. No change. They believe, right? The people in Africa believe. Okay, next one. Flu make you feel miserable. Flu make you feel miserable. The flu. It, right? You can change it to it. So it makes, right? It makes. The flu makes. So that's another way to answer the questions as well. You can change the proper nouns into subject pronouns, okay? Next one, a loaf of bread costs more now than it did 10 years ago. Now a lot of people make this a mistake, okay? So when we talk about a loaf of bread, right? A loaf of bread, that is one unit of bread. A loaf of bread costs, okay? C-O-S-T-S. Don't forget the other S over there. Costs. A loaf of bread costs. Alright, number 8, I think olive oil add a lot of flavor to the cooking. Olive oil, I think it. If it makes, so it adds, okay? Olive oil adds a lot of flavor to cooking. Alright, next one, alright? The committee meet or meets every Wednesday in the boardroom, okay? Okay, so the committee, right? Because this is a collective, right? It's a different type of collective. The committee, right? It could mean one person or a group of people, right? So it could be meet or meets. Okay? Meet or meets. Alright, let's move on to the next one. It is said that lightning never strike in the same place twice. Remember lightning, right? What did I say about lightning? A flash of lightning. 2 flashes of lightning. Okay, what about this one? Right, strikes. It, right? Same thing, strikes. Alright, so it should be very simple now. 11, just say out the answer. My favorite pajamas, B. So it should be R, right? Pajamas, letter S, ending. Alright, continue. Next one. All the member of staff. All the member of staff. Get, right? Not gets. They get. So all the member of staff. Some people think French sound so romantic. French, the language. French, singular, right? So it should be sounds romantic. Okay, next one. There be too much sugar in my tea. There was, there is, there are, there were. There is, right? There is too much sugar. Physics involve a lot of theoretical studies. Physics, although there is, what do you think? Physics. There is S, yes, physics, but is it singular? Yes, right? So physics involves. It will take the S in the end, okay? Next one, gravity. Gravity, same as physics, right? Mass, this is talking about mass. Pulls, okay? Again, uncountable and singular, right? Good looks be all you need to be a model. B. Right, good looks are, okay? Next one, a crew of 5 people, or a crew over 5 people, a crew. Works, okay? Now you can say work too. This is similar to the committee, okay? So a crew, the collective, right? Decorating a house is a lot of trouble. Very easy, right? Is. A house. A house. Your trousers. Go, right? Your trousers go nicely. Alright, easy. Very simple, right? Alright. So now let's move on to part 4, okay? And on part 4 we have some sentences to finish without changing the meaning, alright? So what does that mean? Alright, so let's look at the example at number 1, okay? She has got scruffy hair. Her hair is scruffy. So you see the sentence that they use, right? Has got. Okay? So has and the word got, okay? This is emphasizing her possession or the state of her hair, right? Possession means owning, okay? Or it can also mean the state of her hair, right? Has got scruffy hair. So we will change has got to something else, right? So another example here is you can swap it, right? If the sentence is written like this, someone, something, something, someone, something, right? You can swap the situation and say her hair is scruffy instead of she has got scruffy hair, and we use the verb be, right, and change it into is, okay? Alright, what about number 2? You need some teaching experience before we employ you. Employ means hire, okay? Employ means hire. That's why we have the word employment, okay? What about that one? Again, you need some teaching experience before we employ you. So teaching experience, right? We swap it around. We put that first. So some what? Some employ you need teaching experience? What is that some? What do we need? Again, remember, scruffy, right? We changed the sentence structure. So some what? Some teaching experience, right? Some teaching experience is needed before we employ you. Now do you see where the you is located at, right? It's located at the end. Right? So a lot of places, if you're looking for a job, this is how they would write, okay? So they will highlight what is needed first, and then to make it a good note and make it personal, or feel as if it's personal, right? Feel it as if it is written exactly for you. They would use the word you instead of like teaching experience is needed before we employ applicants, right? They'll use the word you. Alright, so whereas the word you starts in the first part, it ends in the second part, okay? So this is how we do the rewritten, okay, sentences. Number 3, he was given some very useful information, okay? Again, we try to change the structure. He was given some useful information. So some. Okay, if I put it in brackets, it means optional, okay? Some useful information was given to him. Full stop, right? Some useful information or some very useful information was given to him. Alright? Simple and easy, right? Alright, what about the next one, number 4? He bought a suit, or he bought a new suit for the wedding. Right, maybe some of you are seeing a pattern here, and we've learned this before, right? This is called something voice, okay? So, a new suit. For the wedding, okay? A new suit was bought for the wedding, right? Or he bought a new suit for the wedding. Or a new suit was bought by him for the wedding, right? You can put by him in between. Okay, next one. Alright, next one, number 5. An alarm protects this shop from burglaries. Burglaries are the happenings, right, of a burglar, right? Okay, so think of robbers, right? Robbers are people who steal. Robberies are the happenings, right? So you can change burglaries to robberies, okay? So this shop, so instead of an alarm protects this shop from the burglar, so this shop is what? Is protected. Very good. Is protected. It's protected. What do you think? Protected from, okay? By an alarm, okay? Protected from the burglaries by an alarm. Or the word the is also optional, okay? If you've only mentioned this the first time, you don't need to write the. It's protected from burglaries by an alarm, or if you want to talk about a specific burglary or some specific burglaries, okay? Alright, number 6, okay? People use sand to make glass. Again, passive voice, right? Let's try to change it around. So sand, and then we have glass. People use sand to make glass. So glass is... Sorry, sand is used to make glass, okay? Sand is used to make glass, okay? We have around 4 minutes left, alright? Can you just go through the whole 7 to 15? Maybe do 4 more, okay? 4 more together. So let's do 4 more together, alright? What about for number 7? Number 7. People like playing darts more than any other game. And then we start with darts. People like playing darts more than on any other game. What do you think? You start with darts. Darts. I like playing darts more than any other game. So darts is my favorite game, okay? Very simple. Or if you want to follow the structure, okay? I like playing darts more than any other game. So darts is the game I like to play best, most, okay? Is my favorite game, or is the game I like to play best, or is the game I like to play most, okay? We try to copy the words. All right, next one. Nowadays, men and women wear trousers, okay? Nowadays, men and women wear trousers. What about for question number 8, right? We have to change, right? We start with trousers first. So trousers are worn, okay? Are worn by, okay? For example, right, from burglaries, for the wedding, okay? So by men and women nowadays. And then you put the situation in the end. This is a letter Y, sorry. Nowadays, right? Letter M. Alright? Alright, last one. Let's do number 9. Last one together. The rest you do by yourself. Okay, 10 to 15. Only 5 questions. Alright, number 9. You are not allowed to park here. You are not allowed to park here. So is it just you or everyone else? Safe to assume it's everyone else that also not allowed to park there, right? You need a special permit. So what should you say? You are not allowed to park here. So parking is not allowed here. Parking is not allowed here, okay? So you are not allowed to park here. Parking is not allowed here. General rule, right? So it's safe to assume that everyone else cannot park here unless you live here, you work here, or you have a special permit. All right? So remember, your homework for today is 146, right? Part 2, underline the correct form. Very easy. From 11 to 19, right? You don't know how to do them? You look at the first part, okay? The word that comes before the correct, the forms to correct, all right? Refer to page 144 and 145. Sorry. Next homework is to finish the sentence without changing the meaning. Don't change the meaning, okay? So which questions? Questions 10 to 15, right? Very easy. Binoculars, right? Smart clothes, the vegetables, new laws, physics, and the advice. Very simple. All right, if you don't have a space, you can write them down on your notebook, and then I will check them when we have class again in the physical class, all right? Okay, so that's it for today, okay? So we learned about articles and nouns on page 144, 146, 45, okay? So this is what we're going to be learning for the coming 2 more classes, okay? Articles and nouns. So I suggest you familiarize yourselves. Please read, okay? Until you understand completely. And then read the next parts, okay? Don't do them, just read them so you know what to do next time, all right? So thank you very much, boys and girls, and I will see you again in the next lesson. Thank you.